Hello. Hello, 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 people. Hi. Loving the hearts. Who's on? Hey, hey, Holly. My eyesight's so bad, I'm having to really lean forward to see who's on. Hey, gorgeous. Hi, Nisa. Hey, baby. So lovely to see you all. I'm at my mother and father-in-law's house tonight, and we're all geared up for Christmas. As you can see, they've just gone out and they've made me promise to say Happy Christmas to everybody from them. And I've just found this. Because why not? It's Christmas. I love it. Anyway, that's enough of that. So I haven't started yet, honey. That's pure vanity. That's velvet, isn't it? I haven't started yet, just about to start now. Okay, so the reason we're all here tonight, I want to make sure that absolutely everybody is geared up for 2016 with as much information as we can possibly get you loaded with. And I thought now is as good a time as any before the Christmas break to answer your questions. So we've had a group running all week and lots of you lovely ladies have piled me full of questions, ranging from how to use Facebook, we've got how to build your audience, we've got selling, recruiting, and France is a big one that people were asking about, and a few others that don't really fit into any of those categories. So I'm going to try and be as thorough as I can without making it last too long, because anyone who knows me knows that I have a tendency to whistle on, but I'll try and keep it brief and to the point. So we're going to start off talking about Facebook and how we use Facebook, and the first question came in from Ginny Orchard. Hello, Ginny. It was so lovely to meet you on the weekend, my lovely. And she asked me, attraction marketing in your group and timeline. People switch off notifications, so how do you get them to look or stay interested? And Kira Ling, that's Ria's sister or cousin? I know she's related to Ria. She says, how can I get more people engaged in my posts in my group? Most people only seem interested when I do competitions or raffles, which is a very, very common question that a lot of people have. So the first thing that I want to say in response to this is that your profile is so much more important than your group. We do have a group. We have a group because you're not allowed to do raffles, you're not allowed to do discounts on your timeline, but you are allowed to do it in a group. So we have a VIP customer group so we can treat our customers, but your profile is where it all happens. Because people can just leave your group, or they can unfollow your group, turn your group notifications off. With your profile, they can unfollow you, but as long as you're engaging with them, you can up how many times they see your posts. So with your profile, you can work the Facebook algorithms. So your profile is so much more important. If you're not getting engagement, then do not worry about it. Honestly, we all have the same thing. Your product posts are the ones you're least likely to get engagement on. Posts about your life, funny posts that you think people will find cute, you'll get a lot of engagement on them. But on products, I don't want to say salesy because what we do isn't salesy, but when you're advertising, you won't get much interaction. That's where I get my least interaction. But people are watching, always watching. It takes 6 to 7 exposures for people to be convinced to buy. So the most important thing is to remain consistent with your sharing, and not to be put off by lack of comments and likes. And at the same time, engage people. So I'm going to refer to a question that Claire Roberts asked about how she gets lost in Facebook world sometimes, and she wants to keep in touch with the people who she knows will buy or join. So I'm going to refer these two questions in one. We all have a list of 100 people that we are approaching with unique either for the products or for the opportunity. And you need to highlight certain people on that list and make sure you're engaging them, like daily, constantly. Like their posts when they post, comment on their posts, even if it's just complimenting on them on something, their dress or their hairstyle. But if you're engaging with people, Facebook will show them more of your posts. So make sure you're keeping that engagement going, and that's how you kind of work Facebook to your advantage. So always keep people in mind who are highlighted on your 100 list. That's what I do, and it really does work. So keep engaging with them and they will engage with you. The obvious ones are positivity, quotes go down very well. I share a lot of quotes on my timeline, but I always write above it. I don't just share a quote picture and then leave it. I want to show my personality, so I always write something above the quotes. Selfies, let people see your beautiful faces, because we're building trust here, and you can only trust people who you can see and you know what they look like and you know a little bit about them. So absolutely share selfies, videos all the way. If people can hear you and see you and get to know your personality, they're going to be 1 billion times more likely to buy from you or join your team. I can't stress the importance of videos enough. Share your successes on your timeline. Every time one of my ladies promotes, I will always put a post on her timeline, as well as in Vanity Flair, basically shouting them out so that all their friends and family can see how well they're doing. Hello, Deborah. So people, success and positivity is attractive, and if you're filling your timeline with happiness, positivity, success, people's ears are going to be pricked and they're going to want to know more about what you're doing. I very rarely will write a status without attaching something to it, because I find that when you write a status on Facebook and there's nothing attached, I don't get as much engagement. If I want to say something and I attach a picture to it, so for example, I was going camping in the summer and it was very rainy, so I put up a status about it, but I attached a picture of a load of tents in a flood. And it just makes it stand out on the timeline, and you're far more likely to get engagement when you add a picture. Emojis as well. I know some people aren't that partial to an emoji, but it makes such a big difference to your post. I think it's something like 40% more engagement. Tasha said it on one of her podcasts. 40% more engagement when you use emojis. So use them. They make it stand out. They're colourful. They're attractive. And again, share, don't sell. So what I mean by that is rather than putting up a picture of a product, don't use the official graphics that Unique provide us with. I never use them. As soon as you do that, that's selling and you're breaking trust with your customers. So share, put the products on you, and don't say PM me for more information. Say, just look at how shimmery the splurge is on my eyes, or something along those lines. And people are going to want to feel how you feel. Hello, Colorado. That's amazing. Iron Man? I'm not sure he's a presenter, but we'll carry on. So be very careful not to break people's trust. As soon as you start selling to them, you're breaking trust. So Ginny also asked, would you post makeup tips and everything about your makeup on your timeline, or keep it to your group and post occasionally Unique on your timeline? Now, again, I personally use my timeline, and as soon as I get a new customer, I ask their permission to add them to my VIP customer group. And then when I want to do a deal, which is occasionally, I will do a deal, then that's where I put it. Because again, we're not allowed to do that on our timeline. So I don't bombard my group with adverts. Everything happens on my timeline. I'm not a fan of groups. I used it a lot in the beginning, but then I saw when I was introducing people to the business, they were copying what I was doing, and I just found that everybody was hiding in their group and no one could see what they were posting because people had turned off the notifications, or if they don't physically go into the group, then they don't get notified. They're just invited, they haven't joined. So I find that groups are good for existing customers, but not for getting new customers. So Abby Dakin, another one on how to use Facebook, she said, also find it hard to balance the posts between life and unique, because with a tight budget and not much of a social life, there's not a lot of interesting things to post about. And what I would say to that is I actually have the same thing because I'm a uniqueaholic and I spend most of my days sitting on my sofa working my business, and I don't get out a lot. But you don't need to be uber exciting. You don't need to have loads of money. You don't need to be getting your nails and hair done every day or going to spa retreats to post about your life and to build trust. So for me, I post when I'm walking in the woods. Yeah, I could tell myself no one's going to be interested by this. It's me walking in the woods, but that's my personality and I want people to know who I am. So walking in the woods, walking on the beaches. I get John involved. I get Tinkerbell involved because I want people to know all about my life and who I am. And if that means involving my husband and my cat as props, then so be it. Get your babies involved, you know. It's gonna make you very, very likable. Take regular selfies. That's some of the best advice that I can give you. It's all well and good posting on your timeline, but there's nothing like a visual, and people really do take to people that they can see. So definitely post regular selfies. It can just be going to Costa, it can just be going to lunch and you take a photo of your unique card. Even if it's not an exciting lunch, you know, it could be anything that you buy with your unique card. Something funny that happened or something nice that happened, because everybody loves hearing about nice things. Speaking of nice things, I'm loving the hearts, guys. Keep them coming. So Claire Howard. Oh, thank you, honey. Claire Howard. She asked, Facebook jail. Is there a way to make sure you avoid it? Yes, there is. There's many ways to avoid Facebook jail. One thing I want to say about Facebook jail is sometimes you can't avoid it. And a lot of our top leaders have ended up in Facebook jail at one point or another. So if you find yourself in the clink, don't beat yourself up. See it as an accolade. Go, Lianne, go me. See it as an accolade. It means you're working your business. I'd much rather work my business too hard and end up in Facebook jail than not work it at all and be safe for my entire life. Having said that, I haven't been in Facebook jail yet. I'm still waiting to wear that crown. But the best thing you can do to avoid it is we're obviously constantly building our audience and adding new friends to our friends list. So if you have a lot of unanswered friend requests going back some ways, then delete them. A lot of presenters delete them every single day if they've been unanswered. And this is going to stop Facebook triggering its kind of warning signs. So delete unanswered friend requests. Restrict how many groups you post in. So I think the sweet spot is, for me, around about 20 groups if I'm going to be doing a recruitment push. I won't post in any more than that. Facebook does warn you if you're going too fast. Heed the warnings. If it tells you you're adding friends too quickly, just stop for the day. I got a temporary ban the other day from what was it? I think it was from adding groups, because I'd been in all the French groups and I was adding all the small towns in France, as you do, and it said, you've been overusing this feature. You've had a temporary ban. And I thought, oh, better behave for the next 24 hours. Leave time between posts as well. So if you are going on a recruitment push, don't go post. Post something, leave it a couple of minutes, post something else, leave it a couple of minutes, and the time delay is going to stop Facebook triggering its warning signs. And the other thing is, maybe don't post the same thing over and over again, because Facebook will clock it as spam. So if you're recruiting and you have a certain recruitment picture that you like, maybe chop and change it with another one, or change the wording slightly and have two different ones that you go with. And that's going to stop Facebook from triggering its alarm bells. So that was all the questions on Facebook. Moving on, I'm going to talk about audience. That seems to be one that a lot of ladies wanted a bit of advice with. So Claire McAvoy, beautiful Claire, she says, in groups, how do you go from joining them to making friends in them. The group hobbies I'm part of only post to ask questions. It's probably really obvious. It's not obvious, Claire. It's one of the things that I struggled with in the beginning, because how do you go into a random group and just make friends? It's not that easy unless you're in the habit of doing it and you've kind of practiced and you've found the ways that work. So I'll give you an example of what I do. Obviously, my interest is art, so I'm going to have to go from an art point of view. And I find that questions are the best way forward. So I'll go into art groups from all over England, all over Europe, all over America, and I will ask them questions. So the first thing I did was I posted all of my artwork. This is how I met Vicky Balance, who's now coming on Orange. So I posted a load of my artwork, and I was like, I'm looking to meet friends around the world who are into art, and I just want to fill my timeline with beautiful artwork. So feel free to add me as a friend, looking for people to discuss art with. That's how I started. But then I was posting things like, thank you. Who was that? Classy Lash Diva. Oh, I don't know who that is. You should all have your names. Your names as your Periscope tag. So I would then post questions like, so what do people prefer, art or acrylic? What are the benefits of each? And I would get into discussions with people about art. It's not a chore. It's something that I absolutely love. So I enjoyed having those conversations. I asked people where they were from. If something came up on TV, I would ask them, did you see that programme on so-and-so or on this art technique? Or I would say things like, I'm finding capturing shadows really tricky. What are your recommendations? And do you know what? When that conversation is going with a particular person, I don't wait very long at all to add them as a friend. Basically, if they respond to my question, it warrants a friend request. And I don't care if they say no. I really don't care. It's, better that you ask them than not, and they don't accept you, then you miss out on something that could be amazing. So I then add them as a friend, and they know who I am. They know a little bit about me. They'll see the artwork pop up on my timeline from time to time, but they'll also see the unique bits and pieces as well. And if you're doing your attraction marketing right, that will hook them in. That is what happened with Vicky Balance, who's one of my best directs. She's nearly orange. She's finished last month on 90% orange, and she hasn't been with us. I know, but I missed that conversation, Gillian. I'm sorry. And yeah, when you send them a friend request after having a bit of a conversation with them, normally they're actually quite flattered that you want to be friends with them. So by doing it that way, I don't often get declined. So Claire also asked, Claire McAvoy, at the start of your journey, how did you build your friends list? Obviously, other than befriending friends. So I want to say, first of all, I'm still building now. I built really hard at the beginning of my journey, but I never stopped. And even today, I'm always adding friends on Facebook. I saw that Claire Danielle Cowan put a post on Facebook today saying, I've reached my friend list limit. If you're not on my team, please unfriend me, but I will follow you back if you follow me. You never stop growing your audience. We're always looking for more people to talk to. So as I mentioned, groups are a really good way of making friends who have... still post recruit ad as much as you didn't. Not as much as I did in the beginning, no. To get momentum in network marketing, you need to work your socks off in the beginning. And when you have that momentum, you can take your foot off the pedal a little bit. And I spend a lot of my time helping my team do what I did now. So I do still go recruiting, but I'll get to that in a little bit. But no, I work my business very hard, don't get me wrong, but I do different things now to what I did in the early days. So groups are great. I went through my friends list, all the people that I know from high school, from sixth form, from university, from every job I've ever had. And then I would look at their friends lists and I would see if there's anyone that I'd forgotten to add who I actually know. And some of them I actually knew quite well, and I was ashamed to say that I wasn't friends with them yet. And that's the first thing I did, is I added everybody who I'd forgotten to add at some point or another. And then I went through and looked at the friends list again, and anybody that I have 5 or more friends in common with, I would add. And what happens there is they tend to accept you because they think, I must know that person because we've got 5 friends in common. We've got 10 friends in common. Some of them, after doing it a while, you'll notice that you have more friends in common, and then sometimes you have like 30 friends in common and they're like, I must know them. I'm going to accept them. Kind of gives you credibility. So that was the next thing I did. Everyone new that I meet, I add as a friend. So a really good example... Hello Tesco shoppers. So everyone I meet, friends and family always are a flop in the beginning. They're the ones that are the most cynical. They were with me, where they all said it was a pyramid scheme, and I was like, right, I'll show you. And do you know what? They're all so super keen now. They've bought from me, and so don't let that put you off. So add everybody you meet on a day-to-day basis. If you meet someone, you strike up a conversation with them. A friend of a friend is a good example. Add them as a friend on Facebook because they will know you and they will accept you. I got my nails done, yay, the other day for Christmas, for the Christmas party, and I met, give me some hearts for my nails. Thank you. I met a lady who did my nails. She was amazing. And yes, of course, I was thinking, I'm spending a lot of money on these nails and I want to make sure I get the best out of it. So I had a really long conversation with her about Unique. And I never once asked her to join my company. I didn't even say, this would be really good for you, because I know she's heard it 100 times before. And people join people they like. It's not the company they join, it's people that they like. So I just struck up a conversation with her about her history. She was half Iranian or Iraqi. I'm half Lebanese. Oh, what a godsend. So we had a really good conversation about that. And then she was asking me all these conversations about Unique, and she was saying, so how's it going for you? And she was like, how many ladies have you got under you? And she was like, wow, that's amazing. Well, what about this foundation? Because she'd obviously seen the video that went viral, and she was asking me questions about the foundation. And I was saying, oh my God, it's amazing. It's just completely gone out of stock. Can I add you as a friend on Facebook? And then I'll let you know when it comes back in, and I can get you on. And she was like, yeah, absolutely. I gave her my card as well. And she's going to put me in touch with somebody who holds big events. And you know what? I'm pretty sure she's going to join at some point because she was super, super keen. And you notice when I came back, after adding her as a friend, first thing I did, I went onto her page. I left her a stonking review because I'm so happy with them. And I put on my profile, I absolutely love my nails, and I tagged her, and I think she was probably really shocked to see that got nearly 200 likes. So this is how you do it. You make friends, you make new connections. You're not selling. You're meeting people and you're bonding with them and you're getting them to like you. That's how it begins. We're not hunting. We're almost fishing, if that makes sense. Another example I can give you, I went to one of my best friends, had a birthday party last Saturday, and I was really, really poorly. I had a terrible cold last weekend, but I knew there was going to be lots of women there that I'd never met before, and so I literally forced myself to do the journey. And on the way to Windsor, I was saying to John, I don't know how I'm going to get through tonight, and he was like, just have a few drinks, you'll be fine. And we got there. And the whole evening, she had 4 friends there, all my age, all beautiful, all interested in makeup. And I was just looking at them all night thinking, God, I want you on my team. But I wasn't salesy with them. I didn't jump in with Unique. We didn't speak about Unique much at all. I spent the whole evening making sure that they liked me. Read How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's a really good book. I made sure that we kind of struck up a chord. And then the first thing I did when I got home is I added them all as friends on Facebook, and they all accepted me. And I've started liking their posts and their comments so that they see mine. And they'll see all about Unique, and they'll see how well it's going. And, you know, the attraction marketing will do the rest. So yes, how to win friends and influence people. I'm not afraid of people asking me why I've added them. I'm not afraid at all. If they ask me why I've added them, I'll give them an honest answer. I run a small business. It's not that small anymore. I run a business, and I'm looking to extend my audience, and you look like somebody who I would like to be friends with, and I will not be offended in the slightest if you say no, but I thought I would reach out to you. And if you're polite and you're nice, they can't be rude in return. And if they are, who cares? Who cares? But it's never happened. I've never had anyone be rude to me because I approach it in a nice way. I'm just not afraid of people asking, do I know you? I'm not afraid of it. And again, don't add too many friends at a time, and delete your unanswered friend requests. Whose partner's jealous? I missed that conversation as well, Gillian. Sorry. Okay, so moving on to selling. That's audience. Selling. Georgie Leeming. You're fairly new, aren't you, Georgie? I've seen your name a lot recently. Welcome to the team, honey. Lovely to have you. So selling. She said, what are the best tips on making sales? I know we are sharing, not selling, but at the end of the day, it is what makes our Y cash and our commission. I have a lot of girls ask about the products, but then they never get back to me. So let's try an experiment. If you have ever messaged somebody who's interested and given them information, they've ignored you, give me some love, give me some hearts. Yep, I thought so. We've all had that. It's par for the course. It's totally normal. Basically, with any sales, and especially with network marketing, the best advice I can give you is that we play the long game. And so one thing you have to have is patience in copious amounts. I'm just watching this conversation going on. My partner's never been... I would just tap the screen to give hearts. John, I'm so lucky with John. He's not a jealous person and he sees the bigger picture. He doesn't mind me adding friends, so I'm sorry that you get that. I'm sure there's some ladies that can guide you in that respect. Yeah, just tap on the screen for hearts. So yeah, we play the long game. So you absolutely need patience in this. Patience, patience, patience. When they message you for information, it's happened to me so many times, especially in the beginning when I was first advertising the mascara and it was first getting its traction in the UK. People would message me, even then when it was really taking off, and they were like, can you give me more information? And I would give them a response and then they would just ignore me. And do you know what I found? Most of them came back after a while. I didn't push it and I didn't pester them. No, I don't think you can change the colour of the hearts, unfortunately. Otherwise we'd all have unique purple. So what you want to do when someone shows an interest in a product, write their name down, add them to your list, highlight them on your list, engage with them, interact with them. Are you seeing a theme building here? If you interact and engage with them, they're going to see more of your posts, and then let the attraction marketing do the work. It takes an average of 6 to 7 exposures to convince someone to buy. The first time they see it and they're interested, they're not quite convinced. They see it a second time and they'll think, oh, it does look really good. Third time, they'll go off and do a little bit of their own research. They'll YouTube it, they'll have a look. And this is what I did, and that's why I know it works. I was really interested the first time, and I knew I was going to buy it from the first time I saw it, because who doesn't love buying new makeup products? But I just needed to convince myself, if anything. So I went away and researched it, and it probably was around 6 or 7 exposures that I finally committed and bought it from Sarah. And that led to me joining. So again, just because your posts are being ignored doesn't mean that people aren't watching. They are. Just because people show interest and then they don't answer you, it doesn't mean they're not interested anymore. They definitely are. The other thing I want to add is, have you done the training on how to respond to inquiries on Facebook? Because there's a certain formula that we use and it's fail-safe. It doesn't work 100% of the time. Again, some people just need to see something a few times to convince themselves that it works. But if you're responding to inquiries saying, oh, you'll love it, it's £23, you're not going to get the sale. If you send people your link to your website, that's an instant loss of a sale right there. If you engage them, I can't remember what the script says word for word, but it's something like, You'll absolutely love it. Have you seen it in action before? Do you know how it works? It's not like a regular mascara. It's like a system, and it's absolutely phenomenal. Would you like to see a video? Something like that. Lots of enthusiasm. You don't reveal the price immediately, because that's all they'll see. You want to really sell it to them first. So have a look at the script in Vanity Flair. It's going to tell you exactly what to say. And I'm going to add, no more falsies, exactly. I'm going to add a script for a few other products as well that I'm going to put together. I'm going to word in a way that is really appealing and not salesy, and then I'll add them to the script because we've got more to shout about than just mascara. Enthusiasm all the way. That is your number one sales tool. You can reel off features until you are sick to death of hearing about features of our products. And you're not going to get a sale if you're not saying it with enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is what sells the products, because people see how they see your authenticity in the way you talk to them, and then they want to feel like that. And so that's going to give you more credibility than anything else. And that's why you're going to find that the products you sell most of are the ones that you personally like, because you're enthusiastic about them, and that comes across. And when you're selling products that you're not that sure about, you're not going to sell it because you're not enthusiastic. So enthusiasm on a text, on a PM, which is how we work on Facebook. Obviously, enthusiasm is quite hard to get across. So the way around that, I find, you can get it personality across in text when you use. I am going to talk about recruiting honey. Give me a sec. Emojis and voice notes and capital letters go a long way to emphasize certain words. I've said that. And let them try it as well. If somebody's curious about a product, drop off your kit to them and let them play with it for an hour or so and let them see what they like. Because when people try the products, they want them. So that's another golden piece of advice. Offer one-on-ones as well. Offer to do makeovers and to give them makeup advice, and be a makeup professional as well as a makeup salesperson. And also, if they're not sure about buying yet, maybe offer them an online party or a house party so that they can earn the makeup for free. Kira Ling again, she asked me, what would be your top 3 tips for doing videos about products? First of all, keep them less than 3 minutes long, because people have very, very short attention spans.